Hi, Karen. It's nice that you could join me this evening, and I thought that we could do a couple of questions to ask you. Is that okay?
That is totally fine.
Awesome. So I just wanted to get to know you on a personal note and just see with Avon, how you all started your business. What made you start Avon?
Well, actually, yesterday was my 15th anniversary with Avon. I joined, thank
Congratulations.
you, on January the 28th, 2003. I had moved from Ontario to New Brunswick, and for
Mhm.
2 years, I looked for an Avon representative because I had one in Toronto, and I wanted to have one here, and I couldn't find one. Then after 2 years, I found one, and she was awful. She gave me terrible service.
Oh,
So
wow.
I just thought, you know what? Why don't I just do it for myself? And so
Mhm.
I literally started just to get the products for myself. And that is how I got started.
Well, so were you working or were you at home at the time?
I was at home at the time. I was a stay-at-home mom, and it was very important for me to be a stay-at-home mom. And I didn't start Avon to do the business at all. I started to just get my products.
Okay, so my second question is, what made you actually start with your customers and how far you are now with Avon?
Well, what happened was I started to I started to do the Avon, and I didn't have 2 cents to rub together. So when I hear about people not having money,
Hmm.
you don't have to have money to make money with Avon. It really is a beautiful thing. And so I started and I got my kit. I got some paper brochures back then. We didn't have e-brochures or anything. And I knew that if I wanted to buy things for myself, I had to make some money to buy things for myself. I wasn't going to order things that I couldn't afford. So I got busy talking to other people about Avon just for the sole purpose of being able to order things for myself.
And back then they didn't have anything like social media and stuff. So how did you go about finding your customers?
I actually talked to human beings.
That's, that would work.
That was the key to my business. And I talked to people around, I asked for referrals, and the people that I started to serve, I tried to give really good service to, because remember, I started with, because I had poor service, I wanted to give everybody a brochure. I didn't ask them to share it. I gave samples. I let people try demos, and I spent time with people. I told them things about the products that I loved, and I shared my experience with them.
And I know that you do have 3 children. So my question is, how did that affect with your children and starting a business? What was that like?
It was excellent because we moved here to rural New Brunswick, and we only had one car,
Oh,
and
wow.
I had 3 kids. They were 4, 6, and 8 when I first started Avon, so I understand having little kids. Avon really became part of our lives as a family. My kids can tell you stories about how they'd come with me when we would deliver brochures, in our area. I used to get the kids back in the old days a Happy Meal, and everyone got a Happy Meal,
Oh,
and
wow.
we go around and and hand out do brochures in boxes and deliveries, and it really became part of my kids' lives. They knew how to help me pack orders, and they also knew something that happened was the kids learned that Avon was a great part of their lives, because when we got to do anything extra, like if we went to the movies, or we went for ice cream, or a kid had a music lesson or soccer, I would always say to the kids, Avon's paying for this, Avon's paying for this.
Wow.
And I wanted them to know that all of these things, sometimes they were not happy about having to go out with me and deliver brochures, but they also knew that this was how I was making extra money to bring into the family, and that they saw that they benefited from it.
So I'm going to ask you, because we do a lot of meetings together, and we're always asking representatives, what is their why? What was your why when you started?
My very first why was to be able to pay all of my bills in full, on time, every month.
Wow.
We struggled with money, and so then one month I would pay my phone bill, and then the next month I'd pay my hydro bill, and I'd kind of shift back and forth, and I didn't have money then. And I will tell you, when people tell me the stories about how they don't have money, it's like, well, I don't have money to do a business. You don't need money to do a business. You need some work ethic, and you need some determination, and you just need to get out there and talk to people. And nowadays it is so much easier with social media on top of all of the traditional ways that we can build our business. And I'm telling you, that makes a huge difference.
So another question would be, and like I said, I know we've done a lot of meetings and we've met a lot of different representatives. If you had a stay-at-home mom, what would you tell her about Avon? What keeps you going this many years with Avon?
Yeah, I will tell you that the freedom that you can have with an Avon business that you invest your time and energy in now is going to pay off in spades all of the lives of your children and your retirement years. My goodness, my children, people always say, you know, their whys are always their children, right? You know, I sent my kids to private school with the money that I made with Avon as well, and all of the soccer and all of the lessons. But I'm telling you that being able to be home with my kids always. I was never a mom that wanted to send her kids back to school in the summer, at the end of summer or anything like that. I love being home. I even actually homeschooled a couple of years along the way here too. And the thing is my children, I have a science degree from University of Toronto, but I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. It's that important to me. And so when I looked at other things I could do, because we did need money, okay? So I understand the concept of wanting to have extra income in the home, but when I saw that my options were to go out to some kind of job that I'd have to put my kids into daycare or after school care, and by the time you paid for that and, you know, got everything else done, by the time you got home, you didn't want to play with your kids or do crafts and do all the things that we did as a family, Avon was always my best option. And over the years, I made money every step of the way, and it helped not only saving money and purchasing things for my family, but also, of course, the making money, all the prizes, the kitchen appliances. My daughter, I earned a KitchenAid mixer, one of those, you know, $300-400 ones. I think I used it twice. And then now my daughter, who's married, she has it in her kitchen, and she's used it way more than I have already. And you know, things like this that have come into our home, that that we all use, iPads and coffee makers, things like that, along with the earnings, and of course the traveling and all those experiences, make it a richer experience for myself and my family.
And I know that we've talked to other people, and I've heard people say, well, you know, I just don't have the money to invest. Did it cost a lot for you? What investments did you have to put into your business?
Well, back in the day, it was $20 to join Avon back then. And I actually did join on a free week because I told you I didn't have any money, and I really didn't. And back then you'd actually hand over the $20. And I joined on a free week, but now it's only $10 to join Avon, and it's charged on your first order. So you don't even have to hand over a $10 bill. Okay. That's the first thing.
Exactly.
So I didn't, you know, now you don't have to, I didn't have to invest because it was free for me, and you don't have to invest even now in the same way that you can actually get started with zero money, because we have e-brochures now. We can send e-brochures to anyone, anywhere in Canada. You can get your hands, if you're close enough to your upline or to a local district sales manager, you can sometimes get your hands on some paper brochures. But in your very first order, you do get a full startup kit that includes your next 2 sets of brochures, a full-size product to demo to people, and all of your training material. All of your training is online for free. We have webcasts, we have team support. Of course, we're the Shine Divine team. We're one of the top 5 teams in Canada. And I love my team, and I'm always promoting it, of course. And we do training as well. And so everything is provided for you, and you really do not have to invest to get started with your Avon business. As you go along, if you choose to invest in things like our IT kits and other products and demos and things.
The IT kit's amazing.
And samples, and that is open to you, absolutely. But you can, you get to learn how to earn money and to purchase those products and those tools.
Perfect. Perfect. I am going to ask you, are there any downfalls or obstacles that have arisen in your business that, you know, could have had a negative impact, could have affected your business? And how did you deal with that?
Oh, could I say promise?
Okay.
Okay. So over the years, of course, sometimes we have, programs that have come out that might not be our favorite, or we might have things that happen in our own personal lives. And I understand the concept of struggling with raising small kids. My kids were 4, 6, and 8. I have a whole life outside of Avon with my husband and our the things that I've committed to outside of Avon, of course, that take my time. We have things that happen in our lives that can be tragic or troublesome, and just the potholes of life, right? And you can either take those and you can fall into that pit and then quit everything, or you can set your priorities straight and recognize what has to get done, and you do it. If somebody has a job that they're going to 9 to 5 and they're getting paid a salary, or they're getting an hourly wage, and something happens, they just don't go to work. They just don't not show up for work. They make arrangements to go to work. So what I like to tell people is, stuff happens in life. Bad stuff happens, but this is still a job. The thing about Avon is that this is my business. This is my company. This is my home-based business, and I am my own boss, and I set my own schedule, and I love that part. And that is the freedom of being a sales leader and a representative with Avon. But the other side of that coin is, you have to have good time management skills, or you have to learn to do the right thing, and you have to set your priorities straight. So when bad things happen in life, because they will, and they do, that you still have to do your work. And so you can't let everything fall apart and just think you're not going to leave it. Because my goodness, I've got $1 million team. And if I just let everything fall apart and said, oh, I'm not going to do my business anymore, I'd be a fool, and my business would crumble and fall. So
definitely,
I just want to encourage people. Yes, you're going to have struggles, whether it be business-wise, a delivery is late, or you've got a nasty customer, or somebody in your downline looked at you the wrong way, or these things happen.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Are you a business person? That is your question. Are you running a business? Because I'm running a business. If you have a hobby, you decide what you're doing with your Avon. You can run it like a hobby, or you can run it like a business. And I am interested in making money with my business, and so I run it in that manner. Does that answer that question?
It definitely does. Where do you see your business in the next couple of years?
It's funny because for 15 years I've been here, right? And for a lot of years, and I call myself a workhorse. I just work. That's what I do. And I set goals. I'm a goal setter, but I always set my goals in consecutive order. I don't say, I'm going to be this crazy thing, and I need to just go to the next step. That's how my brain works. But so for many years, I was an executive leader for many years, and I never had to worry about it. My team was rock solid. It was all good. And it was 2 years ago that when we went to conference, and Avon announced a new compensation plan, and that was the first time that I ever said that I wanted to be a senior executive leader, and which was the top rank at the time, and it still is. It's the top achieved rank in Canada. And I set that goal in August, at the end of August, and I made that by December, right? So I went home and I said, I'm doing it, bring it, so let's do it. And so I did it. And so this last year, my goal was to continue to strengthen my senior executive leader, right? And I did that, and I earned the car allowance bonus because of my increase in team sales and being a senior. And so this year, again, it is to solidify my team more. It's to see the leaders on my team. I had 3 executive leaders, right?
Yes.
It's my goal to see them solidify their teams this year, and for them to hit senior executive. So, pardon me, I want to rally around them and support them and encourage and help motivate and train them to become strong leaders. It's my success is all wrapped up in the success of my team members. And
Definitely.
and I love that. I love that. I've grown or matured to that place where I am so excited to see the people on my team, the Shine Diviners, be successful, for their names to be out there, for me to be congratulating them on everything. So where do I see my team? I see my team more solid. I see my senior, paid title, in campaigns 1 and 2 next year, like it was in 3. And I see my people with their paid titles, being held, and them achieving the trips and the incentives and the prizes.
And I've done a lot of meetings and coaching and training with you, and I do love what you do with your team. So we're going to get into a couple of different things here. I would like to know one thing no one knows about Karen Edwards. Okay. It could be failure.
Okay, I'm gonna say, people don't think this. I don't know that nobody knows this, because I know I've told you and I've told Michelle, my division manager, of course, that I am lazy, and nobody would ever think that I am lazy. When I tell people that, they're like, "No way," but I am lazy, and what I mean by that is I'm always working. I'm always busy, but there's a difference between being busy and being productive and having good time management skills. And I lack those. So then what happens with me is, sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to do it, or I'm doing something, but it's not a good way to spend my time. And so I know that's a weakness in my life, and I've actually reached out to Michelle and I asked her if she could give me some training specifically on time management, because I know that's my struggle. I think that if I spent, instead of working harder, I want to work smarter. And I think that if I can do that and learn to do that, then my business will even explode more.
Most definitely, and you could bring that into coaching with your representatives and your team members as well.
Yeah.
If there is one thing you could say that would help a new representative to achieve building a successful business, what would that be?
I would say that I am very much, you've heard me say it, fast out of the gate. Like, if you're going to do this, then let's do it, right? Like, let's step up to the plate and let's do it. If you are here for a hobby, that is okay. If that's what you want, that is okay. But if you're telling me that you want to make money with this business, then you have to treat it like a business, and you have to do proper business practices. So what should you do? You should invest in your business. Now, I told you I had no money when I started, but what did I do? I made sure that I sold enough so that I could afford to buy my own things and to invest in my brochures. And I literally sat there at my kitchen table with my pen and did the math on how much money I was making that campaign, because we know how much you have to just do a bit of math. And so then I would go from there. And I practiced what we used to call in the old days, and we still have it now, but we don't talk about it as much, the power of 10. And that is ordering 10 more brochures every campaign. So in your startup kit, you get 10 brochures of the next 2 campaigns.
Yes.
So that I got that too. And then the next campaign, I ordered 20 brochures. Then I ordered 30 brochures, 40 brochures, 50 brochures. Once I got to 50 brochures, I was like, okay, this is good, because guess what? I wasn't leaving them sitting on the table in my living room or in the kitchen. I was actually using them. So I was putting them into warm hands and talking to people and following up. So then I went from 50 straight to 100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I really made a point of investing and establishing myself. And because of that, I sold over $50,000 worth of products in my first year, with having only 1 car, living in the middle of Timbuktu in New Brunswick. I mean, they call it the Gary Woods. It's for real.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter if you have a car or only have 1 car. It doesn't matter if you know people. Because remember, I was new here. So the point is that you get out there and you talk to people and you use the tools that Avon offers to us, which are the brochures.
Yeah.
And I also did a lot of sampling, and I would sample people. I would take the brochure and I'd put the sample right into the book, or I'd write it on their invoice, free sample for you. And then I would follow up the following campaign. So samples do sell, and the fortune is in the follow-up. We say these things, and they're sayings for a reason. We just don't make this stuff up. It really works if you do it. So invest in your brochures, invest in samples, invest in some demos. Yes. I don't have any money, Karen. How am I going to invest? Get some more orders, and then order one thing, maybe every campaign, one set of brochures or one set of samples for 99 cents, and maybe one product that's in the what's new. And then sample that. And you're going to get samples. It happens.
Another question, because I love that, what you just said. With your team, you do a lot of meetings. Now, for you, did you have a lot of meetings, coaching and training while you started? And what I see that you do now with your team, getting people out to these meetings, what are the benefits of these meetings to you?
Okay. All right. In the beginning, way back, I did have meetings, and you know what? I'm going to be totally honest here. We go through, ups and downs in our businesses, in our lives. And, back then when I did only have the one car, I couldn't necessarily get the car. I had the smaller kids. I couldn't necessarily get out. We didn't have Zoom. We didn't have GoToMeetings. We didn't have Facebook. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it was a little more difficult, but we did a lot more one-on-one meetings then, right? So now I do love the fact that we can get together in little pockets like we do. Sometimes we have 5 or 6 people. Sometimes we have 10, 12 people or more. And I love the energy of those meetings. I always order in as a leader. I believe in bringing in demos. I was wearing one of our new necklaces today, one of these bar necklaces that we have. And this is Avon too, what I'm wearing. I believe in bringing in demos right away so that my team can see them, touch them, feel them, just like a customer can, right? They're going to buy more. And if you as a representative or speaking to the leaders now, if you have a team and you want to be able to show your team, this is how you sell, because I'm showing you this product. It actually looks better in person than the brochure. Sometimes the brochure doesn't do our things justice, right?
Exactly.
And it's trying the products, and it's letting people smell the things and experience them, and just sharing of the ideas and the camaraderie that you have. I always hope that my Shine Divine team feels that family. I call us the Shine Divine family. No matter what generation you're in my team, you're part of the family. Even if you're 5 or 6 down, it doesn't matter, right? And I want success for you. Even if I'm not financially benefited from it, I want to see you succeed, because I believe that it truly is the Avon buzz. I can rejoice with other leaders who are not part of our team in their success, because I don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid. There's enough people in Canada for all of us to be successful here. And I just think that bringing people into the groups, whether they be on our teams or our district, I have you come to my meetings and are so supportive. You give me moral support and encouragement, and you are such a good part of my success, Melissa. I love you. And it's gonna make me cry.
Don't cry. This is a happy time.
Because I'm telling you, feeling that sense of family and team and Sunrise, we're a part of the Sunrise division, and feeling all of that is such an encouragement. And I think being recognized amongst all of our different ranks, selling tiers, all the different things that you do and we do, is part of our experience. We want Avon. We want you to love Avon, and we want you to have a wonderful experience. Yes, there's going to be some times that aren't as wonderful, and guess what? Doesn't that happen in friendship, in marriage, in life?
It does. Exactly.
So but you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and off you go, because I just love our meetings. I come away always encouraged and refocused. I come away with new ideas. Even if I'm sharing ideas, when other people give their experience, and they share with each other, I think it's wonderful.
I will say, since I've been working one-on-one with you, I've felt more empowered. It's nice to see some of your team send a message and they put one more brochure at a business, or they get a new lead. It's so empowering to see people that have been so shy go to one of your meetings and walk out and stand proud and literally build an Avon business out of this. And I want to thank you for that. Thank you for allowing me to come into Karen's world and get to know everyone and get to see the empowerment that you do have. So with saying that, I have been asking you for a couple of months, 90-day plan. And I asked you, yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. I asked you about your why. Has your why changed now?
Okay. Yes. And I had said, Michelle had asked me that on a cookie webcast there. And, I have, most everyone knows, if you don't, you're not looking at my Facebook, that I have a grandson and now Silas, and he just turned 6 months old. And I'm basically an empty nester now. I turned 50 this year. And so, I'm moving in a different stage of my life. And my why definitely has changed. I've been able to pay for my bills for a long time. Something fun. I now have my own cleaning lady, which I absolutely love.
Wow.
That was always a goal of mine. I am no, Martha Stewart. So I love my cleaning lady. I tell her every week, I'm like, oh my goodness, I love you so much. And so that was a goal of mine. But really to just be able to do things, and like we went to Egypt and we've gone to England, my husband and my kids, and these are the things that I want to do. I've traveled all over the world with Avon, Prague, Barcelona, Jamaica, Dominican, Mexico, New York City, all of those cruises, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm going to Rome and Paris and Vegas and Montreal. But the thing is that I want to be able to travel with my husband and I want to do that Disney thing with my grandchild, because I never did it with my kids. I couldn't afford it back then, and now I can. So my why is still my children and my family, but doing the things that people dream about, they're actually coming true for me now. I mean, on this weekend, I just went out and I said, I want new furniture. So I went out on Saturday and bought new furniture. And then I wanted my house painted. So then I just put out in a group, all the painters, I want some quotes. So I had painters come in today to give me quotes. I mean, oh my goodness, I could just dream of that years ago. I'd have to paint myself. I'm not cleaning myself. I'm not even going to clean myself. No.
So I do have a question with saying that, with your trips and being able to be financially set now. Can this happen to everybody that tries Avon?
Yes. And this is the thing. I am not special. I'm not special. I always say I don't have a magical wand. There are no magic words. There's nothing that I have that you don't have, that if you're watching this and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't do that. I'm telling you, you can do that. And I'll tell you something else I had told Melissa and I had talked about before is I used to look at the people at the top and think that I couldn't do it. I thought that I couldn't do it until last year, and then I said, what? Of course I can do it. I can do it. And why could I say that? I could say that because I have people like Melissa and Michelle Feener telling me that I can do it. I would say, tell me I can do it,
and we would say, yes, you can.
Yes. And, that kind of support and encouragement is huge. So leaders, you need to know this, to tell your team members, they can do it. District sales managers, you need to tell your leaders and your representatives, you can do it. Division managers have to tell their district sales managers and their leaders and the reps, you can do it. I cannot tell you, for at least my personality type, that kind of support, that moral support is huge to me. It's huge. Even with my terrible time management skills, I've still achieved because I feel that I've had that support that I need. So you can do all of this. And what do you need? I always tell my team, what do you need? No magic words, right? All you need is to do it. And you need stick-to-itiveness. That's what I call it, stick-to-itiveness. I look at my friend list on Facebook, and I've been doing this. I've only been on Facebook for 8 years now. And I can see, even in those 8 years, the people who are still on my friend list that were with Avon and have left Avon. And I am telling you, they got discouraged. They got down in the dumps. They stumbled in that pothole. They got in the mire. Their kids did this. Their husband did that. Blah, 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 blah. The delivery was late. That customer was awful. That person didn't pay her bill. And guess what? Did that not all happen to me too? But I stayed. And had they stayed, can you imagine where they'd be now? That person who left, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, had they just stayed and stuck with it, can you imagine the money they'd be making now? Right? So don't get discouraged. You will get discouraged, but make sure you've got somebody that you can talk to. I always say, lip up. I'll lip up to Melissa, or I'll lip up to Michelle, or you can lip up to me when you're on my team, right? And the whole point is, if you have that, but then you continue on, if you stick with this, Avon is such a wonderful business because we have something for everybody. And this was something that I wanted to say. If somebody is struggling for money, do you think back then when I first started with Avon, I had no money? I told you I had no money. Do you think that I would have spent money on a wax melt when I couldn't get scraped together hot lunch money for my kids' lunch?
No.
Do you think I would have bought a candle when I couldn't get gas money to take my kid to the north side Do you think that I would buy a $30 plastic container for food that I didn't have leftovers of? Right? But do you think that I still wore my makeup? Do you think?
Exactly.
I did. And do you think I still washed my hair? Did I still bubble bath my kids? Did I still use these practical things that Avon has? Avon is such a practical company with fantastic quality products at a great price that people always will use. No matter how much they're struggling financially, we've got such good deals. So this is the company to be with as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. You got me almost teary-eyed there. So any last answers, questions, anything you want to go over before we go?
No, I don't even know how much time we have left here, so it might boot us off. But I will say, I am proud to be part of Avon. Oh, I will also say I did try my hand at a few other companies along the way during this time. And I excelled at other companies. I excelled at 3 other companies. But you know what? I stuck with Avon, and for whatever reasons, those other companies were not good for me. And that's another story. But the point is that Avon's always been true to me, and I will stick with Avon till the bitter end now, because I'm telling you, my husband's forbidden me from joining any other companies. He's like, what?
I heard Haley say that, so.
Yeah. And the thing is because I love Avon. I have a great experience with Avon. I'm at the top of my game, or not quite the top yet, but I'm doing well in this company, in this business. And I just want to encourage you, that whole stick-to-itiveness, don't be looking at the grass is not greener on the other side, people. It really isn't. With our new compensation plan, with that bonus money that you can make in the fast track, the incentives that we have, we've got people on our team that have made over $10,000 in the fast track. Not only $5,000, over $10,000. The incentives people are putting on, the extra trips, everything that you need if you want to run a business is being offered to you with Avon. So I invite you, if you are not already an Avon representative, to reach out to me. My name, of course, is Karen Edwards. I head up the Shine Divine team, and you can always find me on Facebook, and you can find me at www.joinsuccess.ca, because I would love you to join Success and join Shine Divine.
You know what, Karen? I just want to thank you so much for being very open and honest. It has been a pleasure, and I can't wait for our meeting. I think it's in a couple of weeks, I believe. So I will see you in Moncton very soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Melissa, and I appreciate you. And you are a fabulous district sales manager, and you have been such a blessing to our team, and we love you.
Thank you. Thank you, and you as well. I can't wait to see you very soon.
All right. Talk to you later.
Take care. Bye.